Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So this is part 2 of 3 involving Trump's taxes and what was found by the New York Times reporting that came out over the weekend. This section is going to be about the Trump family tax evasion, all the ways in which they took advantage of our tax system to evade paying taxes, evade paying their fair share, and leaving our country in debt. That this is part of it. Everybody talks about the national debt and how horrible it is and how there's not enough money for this and not enough money for that. And in part, it's because of people like this. It's because of people cheating the system, taking advantage, using loopholes and write-offs, and pocketing the majority of the money and getting away with murder, essentially. So here's the deal. I'm going to break it down to some bullet points. So Trump has been writing off millions in consulting fees that he paid to his daughter, Ivanka. And this was confirmed by comparing Ivanka's financial disclosures, which she's required to submit as part of her position in the White House. She already works for the Trump organization, and she manages properties as part of her role at the company. So the New York Times points out, quote, the IRS has pursued civil penalties against some business owners who devise schemes to avoid paying taxes by paying exorbitant fees to related parties who were not, in fact, independent contractors. They posited as a reason for this as a way to avoid gift tax. If Trump wanted to gift money to his kids, he could use this as a way to get around paying that gift tax, which is something that his father famously did. And they reached out to different people who worked on various projects in which Ivanka was paid these consultant fees. And they asked them if there was, in fact, a consultant. And all of these people said, no, there were no consultants working on this. And in some instances, there wasn't even a need for a consultant from the Trump organization because Trump was just simply allowing the company to use his name. He was just licensing his name to them. So it wasn't as if he was involved in the day-to-day on the projects or managing it or overseeing construction or development. He was not involved whatsoever. So why would Ivanka be involved? The other thing they pointed out was that in 1996, Trump purchased, and this is a big one, Trump purchased a 50,000 square foot estate on 200 acres in Westchester County, New York, known as Seven Springs. So this estate is known as Seven Springs. After Trump's plans fell through, he wanted to turn the surrounding land into a real estate development. What he wanted to do was develop 15 private homes and a golf course and clubhouse on that land. Well, his efforts failed because of environmental concerns and traffic and so forth. So neighbors put up a fit. And so they shot it down and he wasn't able to do it. Because of that, Trump went and filed for a conservation easement, and he signed an agreement with a land conservancy agreeing not to develop a majority of the property. As a result, he was able to claim a $21.1 million charitable donation on his tax returns as a tax deduction. Now, while that may be well and good and legal, here's what is not. In 2014, Trump classified Seven Springs as an investment property, and he has written off millions in expenses against this property since that time. So since 2014, Trump has written off $2 million in property taxes on top of other stuff, but just $2 million in property taxes, even though his administration just capped all of our property tax deductions at $10,000 per year. So he writes off this $2 million. And in the same year that he writes this off, now remember, He's saying this is an investment property, which means you have to use it as a business. You have to show that you are at least making an effort to make money from the property, that you're renting it out or that you're hosting events there and making money off of it in some way. The same year that he classified it as an investment property, Eric Trump went and spoke with Forbes magazine, and he told them the following about Seven Springs. Quote, "This is really our compound." He told Forbes magazine not only that that was their compound, but that he and Don Jr. spent many summers at the estate riding off-road vehicles, and they would go fishing in a nearby lake. And he even said that they moved into one of the carriage houses on the property, of which there's many, for a while. And he said, quote, "It was home base for us for a long, long time." So clearly not a business property, clearly not an investment property. If that wasn't bad enough, because you might say, okay, well, maybe that was a long time ago. Maybe that was before 2014 and they used to use it more. Well, if you look on the Trump Organization website, their website still describes the estate as, quote, "a retreat for the Trump family." Really? And here's really just something that pisses me off. There's so many people out there who still think that the Trump family is just so good. They're so, oh my gosh, such good people, and they just care. Look at all their sacrificing. Oh, please give me a freaking break. Not only has that been proven wrong over and over again from all of the things, the companies and people that they've ripped off over the years, including their charity, where they literally took money that was meant to go to children with cancer and spent it on life-size paintings of Trump and donations to political campaigns. I mean, just so gross. I mean, that's why their charity was shut down, and they're no longer allowed to be involved with a nonprofit. But here's what Trump has done with things like this Seven Springs. Like I said, he used that conservancy agreement, saying he won't touch the property, he'll allow it to be a conservation piece of land. As he used that as a charitable donation, he's done that with a lot of other things. So what the New York Times found was that out of $130 million in personal and corporate charitable donations, over $119 million out of that. So literally almost all of it was, quote, donated by way of tax breaks that benefited Trump. So this is what he does. It makes him look like he's charitable, but in reality, it's a grift. He's getting money. He gets some sort of benefit. He gets a tax break off of this stuff. And it's not like you or I donating. It's not like when we donate to cancer research or, a good cause, the Goodwill or something like that. It's not the same thing. That's literally money leaving our pockets. And so we get the write-off. This is him just designating something as a wildlife preserve and then getting a tax break. But then he's using it. He's using the property for his own benefit. It's just so gross. The Trump Organization also wrote off legal fees, which were related to his political campaign, and that is not allowed under IRS rules. So you can write off legal fees that are truly related to your business. If they are legal services are part of your business or necessary because of your business. But instead, he wrote off legal fees when an attorney was helping Don Jr. in the whole Russiagate scandal, when he was under fire for that Trump Tower meeting that he had, he was being investigated. And so they hired an attorney to represent him, and they wrote that off. So just so outrageous, but par for the course with Donald Trump, and yes, golf pun intended. So I will let you guys know about the rest of it in part 3. Be sure to check it out. And as always, like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.